guys, welcome back to another episode. So, listen, since we are approaching Beyonce's birthday, I thought it was only so right that I give the people what they want and I give y'all a little taste of a rock and roll theory since so many people are really gunning for rock and roll, even though it's not my theory. Now, before I get into it, I want to make something really clear because there seems to be some confusion around my theories when it comes to the genres. I am not biasly choosing one genre over the other because it's my preference. No, I absolutely love rock and roll. I love rock and roll, 60s rock and roll. I love 90s rock and roll. I love 2000s pop rock. I love rock and roll. So I am by no means trying to come up with an alternate genre because I don't want Beyonce to do rock and roll. That is not the case whatsoever. So please do not ever get that confused when I'm making theories. Now, I talked about Venus in my last video, and I said that I was going to talk about Mars because we've been getting that combination of Venus and Mars references in both Renaissance and Cowboy Carter, which I talked about in the last video. Make sure you watch the Venus video if you haven't. So in astrology, Mars is the planet that is essentially opposite or the male version of Venus, right? It is a masculine planet. It represents action, aggression, war, and things of that nature. It also represents sexuality, but in a different way than Venus. Where Venus is about sexuality in a romantic sense, Mars is about sexuality in a more non-emotional sense. And Mars is the ruler of the zodiac signs Scorpio and Aries, which is interesting because it was believed for a long time that Beyonce was a Libra rising, but when she dropped her birth certificate with the time, it turns out that she's actually an Aries rising, the sister sign of Libra. So her sun sign is in Virgo, her moon sign is in Scorpio, ruled by Mars, and her rising sign is in Aries, also ruled by Mars. In Greek mythology, the god Ares is the ruler associated with the planet Mars. He is violent and a brutal god who is known as the god of war. His symbols are anything to do with war, like spears, swords, helmets, as well as chariots, dogs, serpents, fire, and the colors red and purple. Aphrodite, who we talked about in the last video, is well known as the secret lover of Ares. Aphrodite was actually already married to another god, but was having an affair with Ares. And Aphrodite and Ares had multiple children together, including their son Eros, who is also known as Cupid. Which ties us back to the Ivy Heart collection. Side note, when I was doing my research, I found this picture here of Aphrodite and Cupid is holding this really pink blush rose, and it reminded me of this scene in one of the Renaissance interludes where you can see this pink rose in the circle here budding. That could just be coincidence, but I thought that was interesting because we've seen a lot of roses. Anyways, so we know that Aphrodite is love and Ares is war, so they embody the Venus and Mars energy of love and war, right? And when you think about the storylines of Cowboy Carter, honestly, a lot of the storylines Beyonce uses of love and war, breaking up and making up, and being in love, being out of love, it really kind of flows together. And so let's say that my original theory is wrong, and Cowboy Carter is not the masculine album or the Mars album. What if Act 3 is rock and it embodies this Mars energy? What does it look like? What does it sound like? What is she going to do? So genre blends that I feel would be the case would be psychedelic rock. So I put psychedelic funk on my Act 3 predictions because I definitely believe that there is psychedelic influence coming in Act 3, whether it comes from a funk soul place or a rock and roll place. I feel it coming for sure. As well as blues and smooth rock, and most definitely hip hop. A lot of military sounds like what we heard in the J14 teaser after the Netflix Beyonce Bowl. And I put on here more Spanish influence, but I'm actually going to change my mind on that and say Japanese influence. The more I think about it, the more that makes more sense to me. I'm thinking about that one Wu-Tang Clan album and that being a possible influence. Outside of the obvious influences, some people who she could do nods to would be Big Mama Thornton, who was the originator that Elvis stole a lot of his stuff from, Trixie Smith, Bo Diddley, the Black Rock Coalition. I didn't put them on here, but the Eagles maybe. I remember reading somewhere that Hotel California is one of Beyonce's favorite songs to do karaoke to, as well as Lenny Kravitz, Phil Collins, and others. I think we could see some influence of the Riot Grrrl movement, as well as the 1919 Red Summer, Detroit riots, Watts riots, Tulsa Race Massacre, the Sexual Revolution, and the Texan Revolution. Of course, with rock being a theme, revolution would kind of follow that trend. And so paying homage or making references to a lot of riots and revolutionary moments kind of would make sense. Also, something that was really important for Black rock and roll in the 50s was the Alan Freed Moondog Rock and Roll Party radio show. And again, that goes back to our radio theme and theory. That could definitely be an influence or a theme. She definitely could possibly do the cover of Rolling Stone for the rollout. And I also feel that the album name could be her creating her own band, like how Prince had Prince in the Revolution, like Beyonce in the Revolution, or something of that sort. Like her own band name just for the era. The same way she like made her own Greek letters for Homecoming, that sort of vibe. So yeah, I don't have a whole lot of theories when it comes to rock, not because I don't see anything rock related, but because I don't have anything new or different to contribute to the conversation. I feel like everything that can be said or hinted or found as far as hints about rock has already been said and already been found, which is why I don't really make the rock content because it's a little bit oversaturated. Everyone else is making those theories already. So I don't have anything new or super different to contribute to the conversation. But I wanted to cover this base a little bit and kind of let you guys in on what my thoughts would be if we were to get Act 3 as the rock album. And lastly, I did want to do like a little quick prediction on when I think that it would come. And my bets are on Scorpio season, which is the end of October into the end of November. If I had to choose one out of the two of them, I would say October because October was actually one of my original guest dates for Act 3 before I started making theories about it possibly being September 5th or September 4th, whatever, however you look at it. The original date that I had in mind was October the 24th, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Honestly, at this point, I have no idea. I'm just guessing, just like everybody else, and just waiting to see what happens or what we get. Another date that I feel like could possibly be a thing is sometime next year around Valentine's Day. Which would be a Saturday, so maybe not Valentine's Day, but the 13th. That could be a date to look out for as well. So let me know what you guys think. What are your favorite rock theories out there? Which genre are you leaning more towards? Which genre do you prefer that she does? Whichever way she goes, I guarantee we're all going to love it. We're going to have a good time. I'm excited for it, no matter what. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe so you get the notifications whenever I post a new video.